Hey guys, Matt here. Welcome back to the Broken Supercoach. Doing some team reviews today. Just a quick one. Checking in Thursday night. Hope everyone's doing well out there, and hope all the Victorian viewers are taking it easy. Not too stressful. Everything's gone too smooth for you guys. So thoughts are with you guys. Hit a like, hit a subscribe, and let's jump straight into the team lineups. First, obvious one here is this James Madden omitted. I mean, can we catch a break with some of these rookies? Seriously. Two wins, Neil and Leicester. That's probably Brisbane's best 22 now, almost. Outside of maybe one or two extras to come back in, but man, that's big. It's frustrating. It's not. I don't think anyone was planning on cashing Madden out for his money, and I still don't think it's a bad deal if you've got him in defense or forward, because he can play both and he can make you choose between the last spot you want to fill. But it does make it frustrating for buy coverage. I have him on field currently for a bit of buy coverage. I mean, I have cover. It's no big deal, but it's a bit of a frustrating one. I think most people are going to be frustrated by this. And we may see him again. He played very well. I really like him. Nothing for Melbourne, just Langdon. So, big news there, but not a lot. Neil, obviously, we should probably talk about that. Keep your eye on him. I think he could be an interesting one. If he's fit, he's certainly worth keeping an eye on. He's pretty well priced at the moment. Certainly one you get a good look at him. So you got to look at him this week, see how Neil plays first game back. Do you like what you see? You definitely be watching Friday night. This is a huge game. And then you've got his bye to think about whether you want to bring him in as your last mid. And I certainly will. I certainly will think about it. Whether I bring him in or not, it's another story. But yeah, it's an interesting spanner, because I hadn't thought about. We'll go through the trade and what trades I'm doing this week in a tick, but I hadn't thought about bringing in a last mid just yet. That could change with Neil available and if he's playing well and nicely priced. Not a lot to look at here. Berry out. If you haven't already traded him, you've probably had him a little too long, but there he is now. That's confirmation. Flip him out, cash him out. Nick Murray, hopefully no one grabbed him. I know he was very attractive for 100k, but just better options. And this bottom end of the Crows, there's Ronan O'Connor in his second game. This bottom end of the Crows is there's so much coming in and out of this team, between injuries, between guys on the edge. They're very risky to pick, Crows rookies at the moment. Outside of your real obvious ones like Sam Berry and guys like that, who are obviously best 22 players. But guys like O'Connor, Murray, there's a couple through there. And if we see them eventually, if we do end up seeing like a New Church or a Borlays or even the kid that they just drafted, Parnell, but we won't. I doubt we'll see him. Those guys, you can't expect them to play 3 on the trot. It's going to be too much to ask. So, don't think Crows will feature much more as far as a rookie downgrades go. Collingwood, we got the news on Grundy. It was only, they reckon, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. That's really great news. It's also not the worst Supercoach wise. I'm not trading him out. I see that he's listed 10,000 odd people have traded him out. There's no way I'm letting go of Grundy. Not a chance. What it'll mean is I'll just cover him with Callum Coleman-Jones this week, assuming Callum Coleman-Jones is picked just here. But you got to assume he will. With Richmond don't have a ruckman at the moment, so you got to assume that he will be. But that's looking a little forward ahead. But Callum Coleman-Jones this week. Send him down to the forward line the week after because he's DPP. In comes Reeves. Reeves sits in that ruck spot until, assuming Reeves is fit, that is, no indication he's not. And then he comes in until Grundy comes back. And hopefully we're playing 22s by then, and we don't even have to really worry about Reeves at all. So, really, really great news. All the rest of this is irrelevant. No one in here was Supercoach relevant, except for the people who went early on Finn McRae, which was a silly move considering that McCreary was on offer the same week. So, a lot of people made that mistake though, but it's a lesson learned to a lot of those people. And none of these guys are relevant at all. Collingwood are a very boring footy team. They're not interesting to watch at all. And outside of Grundy, they have no one relevant to Supercoach. So it's they've been frustrating because in the past they've always had a couple of guys. But I shouldn't say that because they've got Bianco. They've got rookies this year, don't they? They've got Bianco. They've got our boy Murphy. So I've probably a little too harsh on them. Bianco I'll probably go early on this week purely for convenience, just because I need a freeze. I might need a freeze a Bulldogs players, one of those Bulldogs guys price. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Bianco you go early on, and I think you go early on Callum Coleman-Jones, assuming he's picked, yes, which he is, which means Callum Coleman-Jones is an absolute in this week. It's a no-brainer with Grundy out. You've got to bring in a playing ruckman. You can wait an extra week on Reeves, so it allows you to get both bubble rucks in consecutive weeks. Beautiful. Edwards back's really going to be nice, and pick it back. This team's starting to look at full strength, Richmond, and they're quite scary. Ralph Smith out. I know that a few people looked at him. I think there was a better option the week that he was on the bubble. If you went him, bad luck. But you probably got good cash out of him. I think he was a nice pick. And the one that got away from me is Riley Collier-Dawkins, who's still playing, is probably best 22 for Richmond now, funnily enough. So that's really frustrating. Really frustrating, because I missed that. And I know a lot of people missed it. And some went early, crazily enough. So, well done to you guys who picked Riley Collier-Dawkins, who stuck with him. Probably one of the best rookies of the year, actually. When it is all said and done, he'll probably be one of the best ones. So, it is what it is. Sydney Saints, not a lot here outside of this Highmore, which is just, like I said, it's painful. But I think I said, if I didn't say it on Sunday, I certainly meant to say it, where we were past the point, I've said it a couple of times now actually, we're past the point where Highmore's now relevant to us. This was probably our last chance. If he had played, then maybe he turns into Whitfield next week if he somehow makes more money than Lachie Jones is on currently. But realistically, he's gone. I don't see anyone trading him now. He's just going to sit on your bench. He'll be handy cover when he's in, and when he's out, you'll be frustrated. Loophole pick, maybe. Whatever. I think realistically, next week you turn Lachie Jones into Whitfield. It's not an ideal trade, but I think you have to catch Whitfield before he goes, and he's the only option for me. So, just cash out as much money as I can. You're only going to lose 50k if you trade Lachie Jones this week, next week rather, or this week if you've already done it. Highmore, he just hasn't made enough money. It's not worth just sitting on your bench. If he plays, he plays. Sydney, not a lot here, relevant ins and outs wise. Good sign for Warner, still getting named. I'm going to trade Warner this week because I think the Warner to Heaney side move is a no-brainer. I think Warner, he's not got he's not a must trade by all means. Being that they share the buy, I want Heaney now. The price is too attractive. I know I've said the last couple of weeks I want to go nowhere near him, but at that price, it's okay. Yeah, under 400 for what Heaney's doing at the moment, it's just too much. And I'm aware how big a hole I'm going to be in round 14. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be in the same hole. So Warner in on field is great for people who are holding him through to his buys. Probably means he plays most of the time. Heaney there as well. So, how's Heaney going to play with Buddy? I don't know. I think Heaney's well worth that $3.98, and it's, well, I mean, to talk about Heaney a little bit, I suppose I could when I go through my trades, but to talk about him a little bit, I think I didn't do Hall and I didn't do Zorko. Those guys have been watching for a long time. I got Zorko late, and I'll get Hall late next week. At some point, you got to grab some of those guys. I got Walker early and got rid of. I obviously priced him out in the end, or cashed him out in the end. But I don't want to miss. I think Heaney has that Zorko Hall characteristic about him, where he is going to be a best 6 for the rest of the season, and the ability to buy one under 400k. That's someone that's going to sit in your team the whole season. I mean, yeah, there's an injury risk, but I'm not for 398 or whatever it is. I'm not fussed. I'm going to get that, And worst case scenario, I use another trade, but you're going to end up making 200k on it surely, or well, not 200, but 150 maybe. So that's my little rant about Heaney. Obviously, it's bye week, so it's a short week. We're into Sundays already. I don't think either of these teams are really relevant hugely. I can't think of anyone in this list who's interesting to anyone. Owies is still playing if you picked him up. Walsh still sitting there. Not a lot in here. And we've got not a lot here either. Interesting, Luke Edwards named in the emergencies. I haven't paid enough attention to West Coast. Have they been naming Luke Edwards in the emergencies before? Could be an interesting look as someone to trade down later, but I just don't think West Coast are that relevant as far as Supercoach goes this year. A lot of people I see have done the Nick Nat to Grundy trade. I think that's ridiculous. And that was my main concern. If Grundy was long term, I still think Grundy to Nick Nat is ridiculous. Just because Nick Nat, it'll be a real shock if Nick Nat plays every game from now, not including their bye, to the end of the season. I'll be blown away if he does that. I'd be absolutely staggered if he does that. So you're only trading into another injury risk. So it's two trades basically for the eventual game. By trading Grundy away, you're trading into someone who you'll be trading again later in the year. So, but good luck. Good luck if that's what you want to do, for sure. And lastly, so I might need to watch this. In fact, okay, I'll need to change this for sure. What I had done was traded Scotty out. Actually, no, I've done it the right way. I've held McNeil, and now I don't need to worry about freezing his price. It is what it is. I've got 18. McNeil wasn't going to be on field, so you don't have to trade McNeil. I did trade Scott because I was late to that. So I assume Scott's named in the emergencies anyway, so not a big deal. But I got rid of him just because I don't want him playing and losing some cash. So got rid of Scott to do Bianco early this week. And the guys that you trade down to, keep in mind, you're not looking to make cash from. You're just hoping that they play during the buys, play just going forward. So you've got bench cover in case you get an injury that's not one you want to trade. So keep that in mind. So these guys, Scott and McNeil, that's who you're cashing out. Who you're bringing them in is either someone expensive or a rookie that you hope will play. And I hope Bianco will play. And there's not much. I don't think there's anything relevant here in Freo. They are what they are. Sean Darcy's an interesting thought as far as if you were going to trade Grundy. He was one. Nat Fife's another interesting one for your last pick. Brayshaw back on as well. I think there's some interesting picks in here. Certainly a Luke Ryan, guys like that. None that really tempt me a lot though. Sadly. Bailey, I don't trust it where these guys are named on field. That's why I don't even look. You'll find I haven't even gone up and looked. I just want to see where they're named in this section, as far as first four on the bench and the four emergencies. But things like, Bailey Dale on the wing, I don't know. They'll line up in totally different places. And there's Whiteman, who we missed, sadly. That's the teams. Let us know if I missed anything obvious. I'm clued into the sub stuff now, so I'm not too fussed about that. That was a strange one last week. And let's have a quick look at... I'll zoom in a little bit as well, but we'll have a quick look at the trades that I've done this week. We'll just click in here. We'll zoom in for you guys so you can get a better look. What have I done? I have taken on Heaney for Warner. I've gotten rid of Scott, which is good because he is named now, so there's that risk that he plays and loses his price. For Bianco, who I may try to get on field somehow. I don't know how, but I would like to try to get him on field. It doesn't look like I can. Can I bring in... there's a chance that I can bring him in through Laird somehow instead of Poulter. So I'll probably will do that, where I can just go Bianco there and Poulter there. So that's probably what I'll do. I feel like Bianco's a better scoring chance than Poulter. And there's one more in here. There he is, Callum Coleman-Jones. He's obviously sitting here at the moment because I'm for the loophole. That's what I'll do. Grundy, Oliver, but I'll just put him on captaincy. I've been silly not to try to use Oliver now. Oliver's averaging about 140 his last few weeks. Did 139 against the best midfield in the AFL. No reason he won't do it again against Brisbane. Put the V on him. I'm sure he'll do fine. And you know what? If he doesn't, every single person in Supercoach who has Oliver is putting the V on him or the C straight on him on Friday. So you cannot lose. Who would you do if you didn't do Oliver? Well, I might think about Mills. I would think about there's not much else, is there? A Dogs player probably. Let's have a look. What does McRae do against Fremantle? McRae, not a chance. Not going anywhere near McRae against Fremantle. Bond's certainly an interesting thought against Fremantle. Steele against Sydney could be an interesting one. But you start to run out of choices if our boy Oliver doesn't pop off. And you know what? I just hope he does because I'm all in. So, let's have a look. Yeah, we'll check these two. Yeah, Lloyd could be an interesting one, and you don't trust any of Mills' scores because he's only just come on this year. Realistically, you'll be taking whatever Oliver does, and if not, you'll slap the C on one of these two, leaning towards Bont, purely because McRae has a history of not scoring against Fremantle. So probably leaning towards Bont on the Sunday, if that's what I have to do. Other options could be something like Walsh, who historically has put on good scores against West Coast, and he seems to have gone to another level this year. So Walsh is another choice. It's always a fun round, buy rounds. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Good luck with your trades. Hopefully your team's starting to shape up really nice. And we'll check in Sunday, yeah?